Chainsaw Man, a recap, Episode 1. At the end of a certain alleyway, a mysterious door appears, awaiting a man to turn the handle. Cutting away from the door, our protagonist Denji wakes up in a small ragged place, with his dreams being the only thing he looks forward to in the day. So Denji marches out of the shack with his pet devil, Pochita, as he calculates all the money he's made from selling his body parts to pay off the enormous debt that he owes to the Yakuza. He then comes across a potato devil and reveals that he currently works as a devil hunter for the Yakuza to pay his bills and slowly return his debt. Starting up Pochita's chainsaw, Denji chops up the devil and earns some hefty cash for it. But it all goes down the drain as he's only left with a measly 1800 yen once he subtracts all the debts and bills. So, with no money in his pocket, Denji once again tells Pochita that they're gonna have to survive on a single slice of bread for dinner. As they both share that slice of bread, Denji remembers how his life has been going down a downward spiral since the moment his deadbeat father died and left him with a crushing debt to pay the Yakuza. In a flashback, as Denji mourns the helpless state his father left him in, a small chainsaw devil appears and tries to attack him, but falls down due to his injuries. Denji backs up for a moment, but seeing that it may be a chance for a change, he tells Pochita to suck his blood so that he can heal, and in return, he becomes his pet, as they will be able to slay devils together and make money. After making this deal, Denji rushes straight to the Yakuza guys and tells them that they should hire him as a devil hunter. Coming back to the present, Denji dwells on the past and says that he will probably just die like this, without ever experiencing a normal life or a normal death. In the end, his only dream is to at least be with a girl once. That's when the knock on the door arrives once again to take him out to another job. His employer takes him out to an abandoned warehouse and, suspiciously enough, starts a speech where he says that Denji is a dog, and despite him being a loyal servant who demands so less from everyone, he just cannot stand the stench. A devil appears from behind him and reveals that in exchange for some devilish power, the Yakuza guys agreed to become zombies. The zombie devil then proceeds to stab Denji with one of its servants, constantly contemplating how it hates devil hunters who hunt its kind. After a few futile attempts at running away, Denji is brutally killed, with his limbs being separated from his body by the zombies. Dying pathetically in a dumpster, another flashback begins as Denji sits with Pochita, talking to him about his dreams once again. He mentions that if he ever dies, Pochita should take over his body because he wants at least him to have a normal, happy life. Coming back to the present, Pochita does just that and takes over Denji's body and fixes his body up, after telling him that he will merge with him. And in return, Denji needs to fulfill his dreams for his sake. And so, Denji wakes up once again, yet again losing another important part of his life, and gets angry at the devil for separating him from his friend. He then pulls the string coming out from his chest, and transforms into a devil with chainsaws coming out of his body. Yes, so was the birth of Chainsaw Man. Enraged, Denji makes quick work of all the zombies, shredding them limb for all they had done to him. Following his massacre, Denji is now completely exhausted, and that's when the devil hunters from the public safety department come to the scene. They are surprised that the zombie devils have already been taken care of, and when they see Denji standing amongst the corpses, they suggest that they kill him too. But their boss, a pink-haired woman, goes near Denji and hugs him. After he transforms back to his normal form, she asks him if he wants to work for her. She offers him food and shelter, and tells him that the breakfast and meals in general would be much better than whatever he has tasted so far. Denji then lets out a shout of excitement and agrees to the prospect. Episode 2. After their deal in the warehouse, Denji accompanies Makima in her car as they make their way to the Public Service Bureau. She tells him that the only responses she'll accept are yes and woof. If he says no, then it's gonna be a problem. Meanwhile, Denji is busy thinking about his empty stomach, so the group stops at a local restaurant for some breakfast. While they're ordering, Denji faints, as the chainsaws cause him to lose blood as well. And he is anemic now. He wakes up in Makima's lap, and has a plate full of udon in front of him. She then proceeds to feed him like a dog, much to his enjoyment. At long last, they finally reach the office, and Denji is instructed to wear some clothes, as Makima introduces him to his senior, who will be mentoring him. Aki, however, doesn't seem to like him that much, and Denji himself wants to work with Makima herself, as he's really horny. However, it appears that he isn't yet qualified to do so. The two boys then make their way outside and start patrolling the streets, when Aki decides to take him into the alley and beat the crap out of him so that he leaves the bureau and actually does something else with his life. However, Denji gets up and kicks him in the nuts repeatedly so that he can make his point that he's already living a normal life, something that he's never had before, and that's all that matters to him. even if he dies fighting devils like this. After fighting a bit more, the two get back to Makima's office and tell her that they can't work together at all. Then she informs Aki about the fact that Denji is half devil and will be killed if he leaves the bureau. So the two go to Aki's home, where Denji's also lodging from now on. And it's the weirdest thing to happen in Aki's life by a mile, as the other guy's a complete hooligan who has absolutely no regard for anything. The next day, Denji goes on job with Aki to kill a fiend, and they both make quick work of it, without even using Chainsaw Man's powers. Aki gets mad at it, but Denji says that he sympathizes with the guy, as he might be like him, while in reality, he just didn't want to spill blood over the porn magazines. He then starts fantasizing about sizing up some melons on a woman's body, specifically Makima's, and comes to his senses right in her office as he's introduced to his new partner, Power, a fiend. Since she is another weirdo like our boy himself, they both kinda hit it off as they go on patrol, with Denji fantasizing about her boobs now, since she's a bit more approachable. However, she just seems completely unaware of everything and starts demanding a prey to kill because she's getting bored. And exactly then, a devil appears near them, and she smells it first. So she starts running at full throttle to take care of it. And taking care of it she does, as she one-shots it with a hammer made from her own blood. Episode 3. Turns out, the devil was already under a contract with a human, and killing such devils isn't really such a good idea as it can get you arrested. However, Power denies all allegations, and tries to put it all on Denji. But it really doesn't work, as Makima doesn't have the time to deal with her childish behaviors, and thus she puts all appeals by Power down, by giving her a death glare. After dealing with all that pressure, both of them go to grab some juice to let off some steam, and Power reveals that she had a pet named Meowie, and it was the only thing that mattered to her, as she hates humans and devils alike. Denji doesn't really understand her love for cats, as he's just focused on fondling her breasts. So they both make a deal that he'll get to fondle her breasts if he takes back the cat from the devil. Denji loves this idea and starts cursing the devil for hamming the innocent cat, and vows to bring it down. To get the job done, he gets Power's leave approved from the bureau, and they both go to the place where the devil resides. She reveals that she knows where the devil is, but she can't fight him, as he might use the cat as a shield against her. And Denji keeps following her lead like a simpleton. On the other end, Makima mentions that she finds Denji interesting to the higher-ups. Aki objects to this, claiming that he's just an irresponsible brat. But then, Makima starts revealing some lore, that the devils are only as strong as they are feared. And the fact that Denji is actually a chainsaw devil makes up for some rather interesting theories. On the other side, the pair arrives at the site, but Denji finally notices something suspicious, as he asks Power why she's accompanying him to this extent, because it would be a problem if the devil sees her. But she switches gears just then and attacks Denji out of nowhere. Unable to defend himself, he falls to the ground with blood coming out of his head. She then drags him inside the house and presents him as an offering to the Bat Devil, who appears to be quite injured himself. The devil squeezes some blood out of him and complains that it tastes awful, while jumping on the roof and getting his mouth watery while looking at all the people in the city. Power then enters the flashback where she slowly bonds with the cat after deciding not to kill it, feeding and taking care of it in the process. However, the mundane days end as the Bat Devil arrives and steals the cat from her. He tells her to bring a human back to him. Now back in the present, she demands the cat from him, but he goes back on his word and eats it instead. Completely devastated at this loss, she looks into Denji with a look of sorrow in her eyes, waiting for the devil to eat her too now that she has nothing to lose. The Bat Devil then flies away to the city, but his problems haven't ended just yet, as Denji lodges himself to his feet and starts drinking his blood to recover. The devil gets surprised and tries to drop him in the air, but he activates his chainsaws and starts shredding him. The city then turns into a battlefield with Denji protecting the citizens while beating the crap out of the Bat Devil, as he's the one creature that's stopping him from copping a feel on Power's breasts and fulfilling this dream of his. Will Denji really be able to cop a feel? Will Makima ever romantically like Denji? Is it possible for our boy to live his life without a hitch from now on? Find out in the rest of the episodes soon to air. The end.